Hello everybody and welcome again to the Blogging Mums Club conference. Today is finally the very last day of the conference. It was supposed to be yesterday, but due to yet another little technical problem on my part, we have one more talk left this morning, which is going to be the wonderful Sarah Arrow. And she's talking about blog systems and planning at 11 o'clock. So I hope you'll catch that. That will be the very last talk in the current series. And overall, I hope that you have enjoyed the conference. I hope that you've been able to tune into at least some of the talks and that you've got some benefit from them. If you've had the All Access Pass, I hope that you realise that you can now get in touch with any of these talks and speakers for the next year, which is a fantastic thing. I think overall, we've got a great resource here. We've had a huge number of speakers talking about all sorts of different subjects, and I've certainly learned some stuff, and I've been blogging for 10 years already, and I'm sure if you've just started up that you will have learned some really useful and interesting stuff for your blog. So first of all, today in this wrap-up talk, I would like to say a great big thank you. I'd like to say thank you first of all to all of the speakers who have who've come along and who've given their time and their efforts and who've given away so many of their secrets for free. I think it's been absolutely fantastic. I've certainly, as I said, I've learned a huge amount, and I just know we've had so many different things that you can learn about over the course of this week. It's just been really exciting, and I know from some of the comments that I've received, both on the talks themselves and also privately by email, that some of you have also had some fantastic learning moments and that you've got a lot from it. So yes, so a great big thank you to the speakers, and I will be contacting you all individually over the next week to express my thanks and talk about where we might be going from this day forward, of which I'm going to tell you guys a little bit more in a minute. So the next thing I want to say is thank you to everybody that's come along, that's signed up, that's turned up for the talks, that has used this content. I really didn't know when I set up a conference like this whether anybody would be interested at all. I saw some interest maybe on paper, but I really didn't think that people were going to actually show up and come along and join in. And honestly, although it's been a little bit tricky in parts, I have had so much fun this week. It has been so good bringing all of these talks to you and seeing people really engaging with and enjoying the stuff. So thank you all for coming. Thank you too for putting up with the many glitches, errors and technical problems that there have been. Some of these glitches and errors have just been with me trying to get to grips with the software. Some of them have just been technical connection issues beyond my control. And of course, we've had one or two speakers who, for various reasons, were unable to give the talks that they promised. At the end of the day, we're a group of mums. We all know how it works. Sometimes your family issues have to come first, and that's the way it is. And there have been one or two communication problems as well, not to mention family stuff of my own. So thank you all for putting up with it all through everything. I hope that all of you at the end of the day have managed to find something of value out of this. If you haven't, I'm really sorry, and I will do my best to make the stuff that goes forward much better and slightly less buggy. So what have I actually learned from this week? Well, the first thing I have learned is that, quite frankly, webinars are absolutely amazing, aren't they? I hadn't really done very much video before this. I certainly hadn't been to too many webinars because at the end of the day, it's sometimes quite difficult to find an hour of your time when particularly people are speaking. Quite a lot of webinars that I have signed up to have ended up being a huge, great big long feast of people just trying to, first of all, justify their existence, sort of spending 20 minutes telling you all about them and their exploits, and then the next 20 minutes trying to sell you something more. But I have to say that the webinars we've had on here, there have been a lot of really good, useful tips that have been shared. And if the speakers then are directing you to their courses, it's because their courses are all really good stuff. And I would really recommend most of them to you if that's an area that you feel you want to learn from. So what else would I say? Well, following on from the fact that I think I've had a wake-up call on webinars, I do think webinars are fantastic, and I certainly intend to do more of them on the Blogging Mums Club for you all, because I've just seen so much happiness. People are just getting so much from them, and I really think that it's something that I would like to bring to you more. I might even pluck up the courage to do a talk or two myself. I'm going to work on my PowerPoint skills and maybe bring you a presentation or two of my own. I know that most of the speakers that weren't able to be here over the course of the week, that promised to talk and then weren't able to deliver it, I've spoken to quite a few of them, and they've said that they really would like to get in touch and do it in the future. So there are definitely going to be some more webinars that we've missed. And also some of the speakers that have spoken this week have said to me afterwards that they really enjoyed doing it, and they'd really enjoy doing some more content for you. So, and then on top of all of those, now that I have run a successful conference and I've got a proven audience and I've got a platform that I'm happy with, I can go and approach more, I can go and approach some fantastic speakers. I can even talk to the big guys, and I'm sure I will be able to persuade one or two of them to come and present to you over the next few months. So I'm definitely going to continue with webinars. But the other thing that I've learned is that when you try and pack so many webinars into 1 week, it's completely overwhelming. It was completely overwhelming for me, trying to set them all up, trying to get it all to you, trying to figure out how it all works, trying to wrangle different video formats, people that wanted to do it live, people's PowerPoint presentations and all sorts of things. And I also know that for some of you, it was a bit overwhelming, that there was actually just too much to see and view and do all in 1 week. Now, of course, we're trying to get you to buy the All Access Pass so that you can view the content in your own time over the next year. But the other thing that I have learned from this is that perhaps going forward, it might be nice to present the webinars to you just one at a time. And then instead of just sort of promoting the whole conference, which people don't know what it's about, I can spend each week sort of explaining what each talk is going to be, introducing the speaker and telling you about each webinar as it comes and what you're going to learn from it. And then you'll be able to pick and choose. So there is definitely going to be an ongoing webinar series in the Blogging Mums Club. I've figured out how to make the Hey Summit software work so that I can bring you all of this, and it's going to be a really exciting webinar package. So as I've said already, we're going to have some of the existing speakers that we've had, we're going to have some new speakers, we're going to have some of the speakers that wanted to come along to this and then weren't able to, and I'm looking forward to being able to bring you a package of delights to help you to grow, start, monetize your blog and manage social media, do SEO, all of the rest of it. Over the next few months or so, I'm going to experiment with seeing how much content I can bring to you and seeing what we can all get out of it. So, how is this going to work? Well, like I say, I'm going to still use the Hey Summit software to hang everything off. And there's going to be a new sort of area in it. Instead of being called the Blogging Mums Club Conference, I'm just going to call it the Clubhouse. It's basically the part of the Blogging Mums Club where you can come for education and learning and training. I'm going to hopefully set up a series of webinars. I'm going to aim for 1 or 2 a week, but we'll see how that goes. There may be a couple of weeks when there aren't any. There may be a couple of weeks when there are more than one. What I intend to do is just allow every speaker to choose what's the best time for them, so that they are going to give of their best at a time when they are not sort of at peak flow. And hopefully we will be able to get and build up a really fantastic library of webinars. So how exactly is this going to work? Well, in the same way that there have been 2 different types of tickets for the Blogging Mums Club conference, there will be 2 different types of tickets for the Clubhouse. So every single webinar that we present will be free if you want to just come and watch one single thing. So you will always be able to buy a free ticket to the current upcoming webinar. And if you watch it at the time that it is being done or within 24 hours of its publication, then you will never have to pay for any webinar. However, there's also going to be the possibility to buy all access passes is what we called it for the conference, but there are going to be basically season passes, which allows you, when you buy a season pass, you'll be able to watch the current webinar and have access to all of the previous content webinars for the period that you buy the season pass for. Now, I know that not everybody can buy an annual pass to a group like this, but so I'm going to offer different types of season passes. So the basic one will be just for a week. So you can buy a season pass for a week, which gives you 1 whole week when you can watch the current webinar, and then you can binge watch all of the previous content. Now, that previous content is going to include, I hope, most of the content from this conference as well. I need to speak to every single speaker on this individually and let them know that that's what I would like to do. And we will have to see whether they go for that or not. But I'm hoping that part of the past content you'll be able to view when you buy a season pass in the Clubhouse will include a lot of the material that we've covered this week. At the end of the day, these speakers have expended an awful lot of their time and energy to produce this content, so I hope that I'll be able to keep it and bring it to all of you that come over the course of the year, and that the speakers will get some good stuff out of it too. So that's pretty much how I'd like it to go. I'm looking for, I'm going to go out and start looking for speakers and start setting up the Clubhouse format over the next week or so. I think it's going to take a little bit of time, because first of all, I need to talk to all of the speakers that we've had, thank them, and just basically get all of the loose ends tied up. I need to make sure that everybody that's won a prize in the current freebies setup has been connected with the speaker concerned, and that all the prizes are going to the right places. And finally, I just sort of need to make sure that everything that needs to be done for the conference is done. And then I will start to get the Clubhouse set up. And once I get the Clubhouse set up, all of you that registered for this conference will be getting emails about it. So that's pretty much how it goes. I haven't decided on the prices for the tickets yet, but that's my phone ringing for the moment. I'm just going to let that go right now, if you don't mind. Just 2 seconds, and hopefully it's going to stop in a minute. Yeah, that's been connected hopefully to my answering machine, and I'll be back with the person that's rung me in a minute. Sorry about that, folks. So where was I? Yes, talking about the ticket prices for the new Clubhouse. Like I say, there's going to be a 1-week pass, which will be very affordable, which allows you access to everything for a week. There will be a 1-month pass, there will be a 3-month pass, and there will be an annual pass, which of course will be a premium product, because at the end of the day, that's kind of what I would like to sell a few of. But I appreciate that not everybody is going to be able to afford an annual pass, which will enable them to see all of the content all the time for a whole year. And so that's why I'm doing the cheaper, shorter passes, so that you can get the content, all of the content, but not pay quite so much for it, as long as you're happy that you've got to binge watch it all in a week. However, there is one last offer that I want to make to you before we wrap up the Blogging Mums Club conference. I am still offering all access passes to the Blogging Mums Club conference. That gives you access to all of the content from today's conference, and it is still at the discounted price of $14.50. Now, I thought this was £14.50, and I thought the dollar sign was just something I couldn't remove, but it actually really is $14.50. So it's not even £14. It's less than £14. It might be something like 12, 11, 10 pounds. I don't know exactly what the exchange rate is. But if you purchase an all access pass to the Blogging Mums Club conference, I am going to guarantee you that that will translate also into a 1-year season pass for the new Clubhouse content. So basically, for the price of £14.50, $14.50, whatever it is, if you buy that today, not only will you definitely get access to all of the talks from this current conference, even if some of the speakers don't bring them into the new Clubhouse, you'll still be able to have access to them here. And you will get a free 1-year pass to the new Clubhouse, which will enable you to watch every single webinar that we do in your own time whenever you want to, plus all of the back content whenever you need it. So I hope that some of you will, over the course of the next day, upgrade your free ticket to an all access pass. I honestly think there's been some amazing content in this last week, and I hope that you all get the chance to watch it. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in the Facebook group. I've noticed that our membership is increasing at a dramatic rate at the moment, and I'm noticing the amount of engagement in the group is absolutely fabulous too. I really think that this webinar series has enriched the group. I'm looking forward to getting to know you all a lot better and spending a lot more time in the group myself. And all in all, I think it's been a fantastic and wonderful week, and I hope you agree. So thank you all very much for your participation, and I'm looking forward to seeing you online in whatever context, and to letting you know about the new stuff once it's all set up and ready to go. Thank you again.